Hi everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, Touch of Magic. Happy to have you here today. I am working with some new products from Spellbinders and Simon Hurley. This is part of his new collection called Season's Greetings. I will pop some graphics up on the screen so you can see these images. When I get them, we get the samples, so they don't have the full packaging like you will get. And as I said, I will pop up pictures so you can see what they look like. This first one here is the Season's Greetings. As you can see, it's punny, and that's the press plate and the dies. The great thing about the press plates for the BetterPress system is you can use the press plate or you can hot foil with it. So these are great for both. So I'm probably going to do one of each just to be able to show. So this is the Season's Greetings. And then I've got two of the die sets here that I have just on a magnetic sheet. So this top one here is called Hit the Slopes. And this bigger set here at the bottom is the Ski Lodge. This is the new Streamline embossing folder from Spellbinders and Simon Hurley. So this is the 3D embossing folder, and it's great like ski lines, like on a ski slope or snowboarding. So what I'm going to do is off camera, I will cut out a bunch of the components. I'll do the BetterPress plate and come back with pieces, and then we'll make some good stuff. Everything is cut out, I think, for the Ski Lodge. I have hot foiled the sentiments. I've also done a BetterPress in, this is a Altenew ink, can't remember the number, icy blue maybe. I'll pop that up. And then I've done it in a black, but I miscalculated the size of the paper when I rotated and missed some, but I've got most of them. So I'm going to cut those out with the coordinating die. I love that because it's a one and done. You can just do all of them and cut it out. So I have not peeled this yet. We'll see how it turned out. Oh, no, see, I did not have enough pressure. Okay, so I'm going to retry that and see what I get. We'll do it again. Foiling is still something that is a challenge for me. I've got Hammermill paper, which is highly recommended. I dusted it. I let it sit on the heat for a while. Not sure why it didn't transfer properly. I will try it again. So I'm not going to use that one. But you know, it's a hit and miss sometimes. I do have a great tip for what to do with foil that didn't work. I've got a video. It was the very first one I did. I'll link it up here if I can. And it's don't toss those imperfect pieces, I think is what I called it, about using things like that didn't turn out and how you can utilize those and, you know, not toss them in the trash. So I will cut these out. I did do this on 140-pound watercolor paper from Canson. I believe it's the Canson XL. Now, I do have, not that you can see it up on my computer screen in front of me, I have the diagram for the Ski Lodge, which you can find on the Spellbinder site. If I can find that, I will link it. And it shows you all the pieces and how they build the lodge. I love it. It's a little diagram of this goes here kind of thing. I will start with, and I haven't done this yet, this is, you guys, as always, we're crafting without a net, and that should all just kind of tuck together. So we've got the base of the lodge, the framing. I've got some white shimmer paper that I've done the snow with that'll just tuck on there as well. Now this does not have a base to build on, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that. Whether I want to put a piece of paper under it, copy paper, and then cut it down, or we're just gonna wing it. Question. So those are where those pieces go, and then this is the bottom, which gives you. This is probably better built on a piece of paper, isn't it? Alrighty, I've got a scrap here that I'm just going to cut slightly larger than I think I need, and then I can use that to kind of stick things down to, and it'll give me a little bit more control, I think, over where everything goes. So I've just got some liquid adhesive here. And you can, I'm just literally, for this first time of making this, I am following pretty much the colors that are on the sample, on the image that shows us how to assemble. I'm basically just gonna do a first time through. I like to just follow that, make it easy, less guessing. So the colors are kind of similar and just seems to be a way I like to do it. I like liquid adhesive for these things because the little fine tip on this bottle, which this will all, of course, be linked in the description, is just makes those little details easier to do. Can I do that? Come on, tuck. This is harder to do when you're trying to keep the image centered for filming as opposed to where my eyeballs would like it to be. Okay, so that's that layer on here. Okay, so now doing this, what it shows me is we have a bit of a space here, which means that this will then tuck up to there because there's no gap showing in the picture. So that's going to tuck up there when we are adding it. So that's good to know. Okay, let's do the snow next. I'm really uncertain of the order of operation here, but I think that's what looks right. I'm going to pull that down. And again, I have just that little tiny piece of copy paper. It's a scrap that I have. And I've got the waffle flower media mat underneath here. It's silicone, so the glue won't stick to it. And we'll get some challenge here. All right, finagle that. Don't think I got the glue close enough to the edge. Okay, that's a little gooier than I would like, but hey, just roll with the things. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to kind of speed this part up of assembling. I'll try to keep as much of it on camera as I can. If you ever have questions, just leave comments. I will do my best to answer them. So I'll put on some music here and fast forward through the assembly part here. Okay, that is assembled. Now I will trim away the extra paper, but it really did make it a little bit easier for me to assemble the pieces. It honestly went fairly easily. I'm kind of impressed with that, not going to fib. I love that when you put these things together, oh, I missed a couple of things. Like you can see, I think there's an indent at the top that the top part of the chimney, which I'm going to ink blend a darker color. So there's a little groove at the top here that shows you where this sits, which is nice. So they do help you align things with some notches and grooves to make it easier. So you can see how it would line up. And I will put the tree together as well and work on, I think I have a panel I did for a video the other day on a smooshing technique, and it makes me think of a snowy kind of wintry background. So I can see putting this on here with, you know, a little tree off to the side, maybe a couple more tucked in behind. This is the tree stump. So that'll go there, and then we'll tuck the chimney back in here with, whoops, a darker piece here that I'll ink blend. So I think that's where we're going. And then I've got, I think I might do I might do a black sentiment because I really like that it ties in with the black in the framing. I could also do the blue, but it's kind of pale for me compared to everything else going on. And I love this big bold one, Sending So Much Love. Oh, maybe this one. Hold on. There's a really nice collection here. So there's no place for home, like no place like home for the holidays. Well, I think that's probably got to be the one, doesn't it? So I'm going to put the rest of it together. We'll come back with the finished card and show you that. I have a top fold card base, and I did trim this down, and now I'm thinking I shouldn't have because it left me really tight, but I just automatically like a little border around my thing. I feel like it frames the art, if you will. So a little liquid glue. Now I left the last of the assembly on film, and I'm going to see if I can't fast forward it and make it make sense. If I can, I will keep it included, just so you can see how I put the parts together. And that's why I like liquid glue. It gives a little tiny bit of wiggle time here. We'll hold that flat. Now you could add, I ended up using a marker, an alcohol marker, to color the top part of the chimney just to get the darker contrast. I could have cut it out of a different color, but you know, the die piece cuts out the chimney and the topper. So I just colored it. I think we're going to add our little tree there. And you could add more depth. You could add a lot of dimension by adding some ink blending. You could use alcohol markers to color the paper. You could do a lot of things with it. And then that's going to go there. I'm going to get a little, I think, pop-ups here. Okay, it's a little foam squares here. Pop that up. Often I'll use scrap paper and just use the coordinating die again and cut out several layers. But for expediency purposes today, we're just gonna good old foam dots. Or I suppose technically squares. I add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of the squares. It gives a little bit of float time for positioning. And I think we're just gonna center it in that space. I do use my T-square just to kind of get an eyeball on, that's fairly straight. All right, and that is our card for today. Thank you so much for taking time to be here today and hang out with me in the studio and see what we created. I do appreciate it, and I hope that you are inspired to go out and create something yourself. All the descriptions will be below with links for anything that I can find. The links that I do use are often affiliate links, which means that I earn a small commission when you shop at no extra cost to you. I am an affiliate for Spellbinders, so they did send me this. It's wonderful. They give us the opportunity to create with great products and hopefully inspire you to do the same. If you haven't already, a thumbs up would be very appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're certainly welcome to do so, and I appreciate it. If you do subscribe, you can also ring the notification bell. It will let you know the next time that I post a video. I hope you have a wonderful day today and that you find some time to craft as well. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.